another
series.
Okay.
Well, that's only 2, but I mean...
Only 2?
Yeah, but at this point, if he gets married again, it's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, when you're at Larry King's age, you could have 8, you know.
That's what happens. And I probably will get married again, is the sad reality.
So is it you,
Wait
or
a minute.
you keep finding
Just because that's going to happen, because I've learned over the years that ways that I was raised affected my my capacity for interacting with women to the extent that if they make me marry them, I will.
They make you.
That's how it works.
Can I get more personal with you? Why do the marriages not work out?
Well, you've heard of erectile dysfunction, Danny?
Heard of it. He coined it.
Heard of it. There are a lot of different reasons. She has her, there's 3 stories.
She has erectile dysfunction.
She has erectile dysfunction.
And
that's been a problem.
Was she the same woman as the first wife?
What do you mean?
He's like married, divorced, and remarried the same woman.
Remarried the same person?
No.
Same type of person?
Same type, that kind of thing.
No. She was totally different.
But I thought it was about to be a David E. Kelly plotline.
Yeah, well, they do have similarities that you realize through therapy and over the years, but
they picked you, so that's at least one.
Well, that's part of the problem. Yeah, and both their fathers were alcoholics, which is an interesting thing. And in fact, my high school girlfriend, who was very Jewish, but so her father probably wouldn't have been.
Touched Micah.
Yeah. But she was. Her father was very, unavailable as well for a number of reasons.
That's for being a Jew. That's a classic Jew father aloofness.
So this divorce that you're going through now. Mm-hmm. What triggered it? What was the last straw?
Yeah.
The last straw was probably, there's a lot of different things.
Was it mutual or was it her?
Well, it's hard to really say because the separation, I would say, was her in the sense that, she didn't want me around if I was going to behave the way I was behaving. But on the other hand, I kind of took the ball and ran with it. And,
Wait, what do you mean behave how you're behaving?
Yeah, what were you doing?
Behaving?
Well, there's drinking and things like that, but there's also, activities and behaviors that go along with them.
Yeah, but if you're drinking, she married you for her father, theoretically.
Exactly.
You went to therapy. You're doing what you're supposed to do.
Well, that's an argument I made for very many years. But luckily, she's also an individual who's trying to improve herself and thought, well, wait, okay, I know that I made this deal with the devil, but now I think I'm ready to not be in that deal anymore. And I respect it, and like I said, kind of ran with it, and that's why she hates me so much now. Because
you're a perplexing man.
Well, I will pull myself together and be happy, and then come dashing back to her. And then when she realized, oh wait, it is possible for me to not be a complete lunatic pirate. And
no, it's not possible. They're all complete lunatics. They have no idea what they want. They push you away.
He was saying he was a lunatic, Chris. The way to put that on the women.
I'm flipping it onto her. I know
no, you're right. They are.
Right.
Were you the only one who drank, or did she drink?
Because no, she didn't really. She didn't drink.
Push her to drink.
I pushed her to smoke, which is interesting because whenever I'd walk back home, it'd smell cigarettes. No, cigarettes.
An awful habit to push on somebody. Not even a fun drug.
No, I didn't even smoke myself, but I would walk into the house and smell cigarette smoke and think, oh man.
Have you done a lot of hard drugs?
Oh yeah. I've done all kinds of everything.
Like what? What are your favorites?
Well, favorite at this point is a strange way to phrase it, but
what do you mean?
What can you still?
Yeah.
What isn't your body rejecting at this point?
Yeah. What is my body? But what?
Did you go to rehab? Anything serious?
Yeah. I've done all that a lot of times.
How many times?
At least twice, depending on how you count.
One for each divorce.
Yeah.
And what? You did the whole 3-4 month thing up in the Poconos kind of deal, that kind of thing.
No, shorter than that, and not in the Poconos, but something like that.
You didn't even get the Pocono package.
No.
Yeah, I did. I got the little mirrored bed and.
Did you get fat from that? Because they give you the fattening food and all that.
Better chunky than junky.
You have to be on a designer drug to get the classy rehab. You can't go to
No, I've gone to some nice ones. I've been. You can. Oh yeah, you can.
All right, you can get in.
There's people smoke rock in all those places.
So was your thing coke or what was your drug?
It's just different. It doesn't really matter what the drug was.
You're triggering him, Danny. This is a trigger conversation. You got him thinking about all these great drugs.
He's such an interesting guy, and this is what I wanted to get into.
Yeah.
Because he's a guy who went to Harvard, doesn't want to talk about it, graduated Harvard Law School, decided to become a comedian, developed a drug problem, got divorced twice, and some are the kids with the first wife or the second wife?
No, they were with the second wife, and they're right around the corner from me. So
No,
that's all
obviously the strange thing is that like he's a very wild guy, but
And
he's
he's
also
so quiet.
he's very organized because he went to Harvard. You know, he went to Harvard Law for crying out loud.
Well, I'm a
He
little curious
graduated.
about it too because like I first got into you on Tough Crowd. That's where I first remember seeing you, and I remember I always thought, and I'll say this, I thought you were the best one on that show, writing wise. Like, your stuff was always
Don't
structured.
say it while you're in the room.
Yeah, your stuff was always you were prepared. You were you were more prepared than Colin on that show.
Like a
I'm
lawyer,
sorry,
he
you
came
were.
with his notes.
Oh wow, he was more prepared than Colin.
Than Colin on that show. And like with the drugs per se, like how does that affect the writing? I mean, were you writing a lot when you were doing them? Did it help? Did you pull a Hunter S. Thompson? How did it work with you?
You know, I was always kind of in and out of phases of keeping my things together, more or less. I went through a lot of, because I do have these kids and everything, I'd go through stretches of, I'd go through crazy behaviors on the road and then have to pull it together. So I was in a constant state of losing it and pulling it together, losing it and pulling it together, and not really fully acknowledging what that was doing to me, to my life, and to everybody around me. But, so it wasn't like I was walking around whacked out of my face 24/7.
But why are you so in flux? Because like when you were organized, obviously you were doing very well. You have a big career. You went to Harvard, all this kind of stuff, and then you're doing kind of stuff that generally, if you do that, you don't get anywhere. So.
Yeah, well, does the idea of conflicted inner turmoil strike you? Am I the first person that's ever self-destructed? Because you're acting like you're talking to some dinosaur. That
Now, Dave doesn't. Dave's just been trying to get into the Harvard Club for years. That's what this comes down to.
They won't hire me as janitor.
They won't let him in.
I mean, you guys do seem perplexed by the idea that a comedian might have a complicated personality.
I'm not complexed by it. I'm complexed by how they're complexed by it. Perplexed.
Yeah.
Perplexed.
Well, yeah. I mean, yes, you're exactly right. How could I do that? Like, what good? Yes, if I had just stayed focused and organized and didn't mess.
Well,
with
what
myself.
does your therapist
drugs
say?
are fun.
Yeah.
You
Hang
guys.
on,
I mean,
hang on a
that's why
minute.
we
Well, there's
do.
elements of that too. Yeah.
Hang on a minute. This is not. What's perplexing is not